Hello, I'm Mrs. McDonald and I'm here to share another story with you. Tonight I'm going to share a story that was one of the favorites of my kids. It's The Three Bears. My son Jack, my oldest, this was his favorite. I had to read it over and over and over again, probably 100 times. But before I read this, I want to introduce you to some of my teddy bears. I don't have a real bear around here. So, this teddy bear right here was made by my grandmother. My grandmother died when she was 100, probably about 5-6 years ago, and she had made this for my dad whenever he was a little boy, and now he's 80. So this is probably 78, 79 years old, and it's still holding up. Of course, I don't leave it out. If the dogs got a hold of this, it would be gone immediately. And but it is pretty sturdy. It is well made. My grandma made it, and that's special to me. Every time I see it, I think of her, and she was one of my absolute favorite people ever, and I love her so much. So anyhow, and then this teddy bear was my teddy bear when I was growing up, and I actually got this from my little sister because on Christmas Eve, when we were 3 and 4 or 5 or something like that, we were at our other grandmother's house, and all the children got one gift, and I got a plastic Lucy doll that's probably now worth lots of money if it was still around, but it's not. And my little sister got this, and I wanted this so bad. I mean, it was a lot fuzzier then, but anyhow, I just had to have this, and she traded, so I got it. And I don't keep it out anymore because it's a little floppy, flimsy, and I don't want to take any chances of my dogs getting it. So I keep it put away, and I just get it out every now and then. And then this bear is special to me because this is the only bear a boy ever gave me. And it was whenever I was a freshman in college, and this is a different outfit, though, I put on it. I like this better because I'm more of a farmer type, and it was in like a dressy up thing. But I kept it even though I didn't keep him because, hey, I only got one from a boy. I need to keep it. So, then this is Cubby Bear, and he lost his nose because my dogs did get a hold of him, but I'm sewing a new one on. I'm not quite happy with it, so I'll probably add more later. But Cubby Bear is from the Awana Cubby program, and this is the bear that they used to have. Cubby, they've altered a little bit, and there's a new one, but this is the Cubby Bear from most of the years that I've done Cubbies. I've been the Cubby director at our church for probably 17 years, and it's a preschool program, and I love preschoolers, and I love my Cubbies at church, and so this reminds me of them, and it reminds me of a lot of years of little puppet shows with Cubby Bear. So, anyhow, now for the story. I'll probably ad-lib a little bit because we read probably 3 or 4 different versions of this story, and this one doesn't have everything exactly like I say it, but I'm known for ad-libbing. So, The Three Bears. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. A great big papa bear, a middle-sized mama bear, and a wee little baby bear. They lived in a little house in the forest. And they had 3 chairs. A great big chair for the papa bear, a middle-sized chair for the mama bear, and a wee little tiny chair for the baby bear. And upstairs, there were 3 beds. A great big bed for the papa bear, a middle-sized bed for the mama bear, and a wee little bed for the baby bear. One morning, the mama bear made some porridge for breakfast. Here she is, stirring away on her stove. She filled the great big bowl for the papa bear, a middle-sized bowl for the mama bear, and a wee little bowl for the baby bear. There they are, sitting steaming on the table. But the porridge was too hot to eat, so the 3 bears went out for a walk in the forest. And there they are. I think the baby bear's hunting butterflies or something. That same morning, a little girl called Goldilocks was walking through the woods. She came to the three bears' house, and she knocked on the door. But nobody called, "Come in." So she opened the door and went in. Not a very good choice, because we should never go into anybody's home unless we're invited. And we certainly shouldn't go alone. But this is a fairy tale. I guess I'd call it a fairy tale. Goldilocks saw the three chairs. She sat in the great big chair. It was too hard. She sat in the middle-sized chair, but it was too soft. She sat in the baby chair. It was oh so right, but it broke into a million pieces when she sat on it. Now Goldilocks spied the porridge. "I am hungry," she said. So she tasted the porridge. The porridge in the big bowl was too hot. The porridge in the middle-sized bowl was too cold. The porridge in the wee little bowl was just right. So she ate it all up. Then Goldilocks went upstairs and tried the beds. Every time I read that line, I yawn. I think I'm just so tired whenever, I yawn all the time if I'm talking about bed or nighttime or naps or sleeping or yawning or hibernating. Makes me yawn. There I go again. The great big bed was too hard. There she is on the great big bed. You can tell it's big because look how little she looks on it. The middle-sized bed was too soft. Get her sinking into that thing. But the wee little bed was oh so nice. So Goldilocks lay down and went to sleep. Ugh. Then home through the forest and back to their house came the three bears. The great big bear, the middle-sized bear, and the wee little tiny baby bear. The moment they stepped into the house, they saw that someone had been there. Said the Papa Bear in his great big voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair." See him? He must have just smelled her or something. I don't know. Maybe she moved a cushion. I don't know. "Land sakes," said the Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair." "Oh dear," cried the baby bear in his wee little voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair and has broken it into a zillion pieces." They all looked at the table. Said the Papa Bear in his great big voice. "Someone has been tasting my porridge." "And someone has been tasting my porridge," said the Mama Bear. "Someone has eaten all my porridge up," said the little baby bear sadly. Then up the stairs went the three bears. They were probably looking for somebody who ate their porridge and broke their chair. With a thump, 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 and a trot, 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 and a skippity, skippity, skip. That was the wee little tiny bear. Said the Papa Bear in his great big voice. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed." "And someone has been sleeping in my bed," said the Mama Bear. "Oh dear," cried the baby bear in his wee little voice. "And someone has been sleeping in my bed, and here she is right now." Goldilocks opened her eyes, and she saw the three bears. "Oh!" said Goldilocks. She was so surprised that she jumped right out of the window and ran all the way home, and she never saw the house in the forest again. here are the bears. They're looking at, where did that Goldilocks lady go? That little girl, she shouldn't be going into other people's house. And here's Goldilocks. And she is running as fast as she can to get away from that house. I think if I saw 3 bears when I opened my eyes, I'd be running too. Anyhow, I really hope that you enjoyed that story. I have more to come. I want to read The 3 Little Pigs because that was my son Danny's favorite story. I read it over and over and over again for him. And I want to read There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly because that was Sammy and Nathan's story that I read to them over and over and over again. So I just like to share the stories that my kids liked. And then there's a lot of other stories I've been reading lately whenever I substitute teach at school and things like that, that I'm like, wow, I'd like to read that story. But it's hard for me to get around to it because I'm a busy lady. Anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.